and welcome to Fuzhou in Fujian province on the southeast coast of China. It's quarterfinals day at the Thaihot China Open, the 11th of the 12 tournaments that make up the MetLife BWF World Superseries. Not only is this the 11th tournament, it's also the last of the 5 premier events, an even higher tier of tournament within the Superseries. And as you can see, the end of year Destination Dubai Super Series finals. The top 8 players or pairs in each of the 5 disciplines will qualify for the end of season championships in Dubai. Well, as I say, it is quarterfinals day today and 5 matches for you. We're starting with men's singles, and Chen, the world champion and 3-time winner of this event, is up against the young Dane, Viktor Axelsen. Then it's mixed doubles and the Commonwealth Games gold medalists Mr. and Mrs. Adcock up against the World Championships silver medalists Chen and Bao Yi-sin. Then men's doubles and Hashimoto and Hirata of Japan. They're up against last year's beaten finalists Chai Biao and Hong Wei. Then women's doubles and the world #1s Matsutomo and Takahashi today appearing in their 6th consecutive quarter-final here. They're up against the Malaysians Ansele and Song in their first ever Super Series quarter-final. Then we finish with women's singles, and the defending champion Saina Nehwal is up against Okuhara, recent winner of the Japan Super Series. So it really is a super lineup. Our first match then is men's singles. Chen Long of China, the #1 seed, up against Viktor Axelsen of Denmark. Well, as you can see from the men's singles draw from quarterfinals onwards, 5 different nations, but only 4 seeded players left in. That really is incredible. 2 in the top half, 2 in the bottom half, and of course 2 very famous names in the bottom half of the draw, Lin Dan and Lee Chong Wei. So, as far as the draw is concerned, well, it's always a tough battle, isn't it, in Premier Super Series events? And it's a really tough battle in the Destination Dubai Super Series rankings to qualify for those end-of-year Super Series finals that I was telling you about. Well, here come the players. Chen Long, the #1 seed and 3-time former champion. Incidentally, 4 finals here previously at the China Open, because not only did he win in 2010, 2012 and 2013, he was a beaten finalist in 2011. So really has had an extremely successful tournament over the years here at the China Open. Well, the young Dane, Viktor Axelsen, never previously has he got beyond the last 16, but I have to say there's been a steady improvement. 2011 he was a qualifier, lost in the qualifying, then in the first round, 2013 last year, he was in the last 16, so it's always good to see a steady improvement. Well, I'm delighted to say that once again Steen Petersen, the former head coach of the Danish national team, is sitting beside me. I don't know whether you've had a chance to talk to any of the coaches or the players. Perhaps we'll come back to that in just a minute, because we're going to look at the facts and figures for Chen Long. 26 years of age, from Hubei province, the world #1. It's coming up a year that he will be world #1. It was the 24th of December last year when he reached that status, and he's been there ever since. He's also #1 on the Destination Dubai ranking at the moment. Well, he beat Ajay Jayaram in the very first round. That was a repeat of the Korean Super Series final. Yesterday, it was against Su Jian-ho of Chinese Taipei, who was playing his 5th tournament in 5 weeks, Su Jian-ho. So the scoreline perhaps reflective of the fact that he must be very tired indeed. So to the #7 seed, Viktor Axelsen, the 21-year-old from Odense, which of course is where we played the last Premier Super Series event, the Denmark Open. We've had a Super Series since then, of course, the French Open. He's been as high as 5 in the world ranking, and as far as his win-loss record for the year, 4 finals, 3 of them Super Series this year from 13 tournaments. Now, he's had a much tougher path through to this quarterfinal, hasn't he? First round against Wei Nan, dropped the opening game there, but yesterday against Wong Wing-Ki, who of course was beaten finalist in the Bitburger Grand Prix Gold, he had to come from 6-10 down in that deciding game before winning through 21-19 in the decider in an hour and 6 minutes. Well, that's ominous for Steen Petersen and all Danish fans, because 6-0 doesn't make happy reading. But the last time they met was in the Denmark Super Series, as you can see. That was the semi-final stage just recently. 3 games, in fact, 4 of the 6 previous occasions that they've met have been 3 games. So I don't know, Steen, have you had a chance to speak to any of the Danes? I know that Viktor was on the bus with us coming down to the stadium, but probably didn't want to disturb him this morning, did you?
No, not too much. I just met him at breakfast and congratulated him on his win yesterday. It was a bit lucky win because he was in dire straits against
Wong Wing-Ki.
Wong Wing-Ki from Hong Kong, who played a really good match as far as I was able to see out of the left side of my eye here from our commentary position. And
Ladies and gentlemen,
I could see from the Danish papers that Viktor agreed that he was not playing the way he wanted to yesterday.
left,
Yeah.
Viktor Axelsen, Denmark.
Xu Xiaofeng.
Viktor
On one
Axelsen,
half of this,
to
Xu
serve,
Sharping,
level, play.
our service judge. Well, of course,
Love.
I certainly remember not only their semi-final in Denmark, Steen, but also that World Championship quarter-final. That was incredible in Jakarta, wasn't it? Second game, 30-29 in favour of Chen Long, because of course he went on to become only the 3rd man in history to retain a world title, men's singles title.
Oh, he missed it.
Well, that's a bit of a blunder.
Shakes his head. What's going on here? Yeah.
Kenneth Jonassen, his coach, is not amused.
Looking very concentrated. Yeah, it was a really good match at the Worlds. Played some good matches against each other, starting in Australia Open in the final there, which went to 3 games. But let's see how this match goes here on Chen Long's home soil.
2, 1.
Well, 2-time world champion, Olympic bronze medalist Chen Long. Now, I know we were having a very interesting discussion yesterday about great players and the greatest ever, and we really came to the conclusion that you can't really compare eras. But, you know, when you talk about Lindam, when you talk about Paul-Eric Hoyer, some of the great players who have won Olympic gold medals and so on, you can talk about real traits. And what I want to know is, from your perspective,
3,
as a master tactician, a coach's view, what is it that makes Chen Long so good?
Yeah, I think the key factor is that his shot quality is absolutely excellent, and then he's become physically strong. I mean, he's good in defense. He's got a nice attack as well, but he managed to get every shot back with quality. And of course, as all players have, he has some periods where he's not that focused. There's heavy training periods where you focus a lot on the physical side of badminton in order to be able to play at the highest level later on in the season. And it's very hard to figure out exactly when those periods are. But when we see Chen Long playing at his best, he has fantastic shot quality, and the strength he uses to move so swiftly around the court is just amazing. And speaking of that, the periodization in practice, I think Viktor could be in for a tough match here because
5-2.
I suspect Chen Long would be more focused on his own tournament here in China Open, compared to Australian Open and Denmark Open. You
Yeah.
might be in these kind of heavy training periods there.
Yeah. No, it's well taken.
Double is over.
We saw
3-5.
last time that Viktor Axelsen served, made a service error, served short. Now, my mind goes immediately back to that World Championship quarter-final in Jakarta when Axelsen had 6 game point opportunities, and in all honesty, he couldn't really serve properly.
No.
But if he hits shots like that,
Yeah, what a shot.
He's in with a good shout
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And I mean, of course, Chen Long, he can do all kinds of different shots and trick shots as well, but we don't see him use them so much. It's the small deceptions that makes it hard to read his shots.
Double is over.
So in many ways, you could say that there are players on the circuit that are more spectacular than Chen Long, but he's just very, very steady. He's a grinder, not meant in a bad way, but in a good way. He simply, I mean, it's a good idea to let the opponent take the spectacular points. If you can take the next 7 easy points, that's fantastic. And it reminds me a little bit of Park Jo-bong in the men's doubles and the mixed doubles. Easy points count just as much as the spectacular ones.
Yeah. But that was the whole point of my question, because, you know, I look at Lee Chong-wei and Lin Dan, and I see spectacular things. I do see the injection of pace. I see the quality net play. And I'm not saying that Chen Long doesn't have quality net play. He has very good net play. But he doesn't look as spectacular when he plays as some of the other top players. Hence my question. What is it that makes him so good? And you've explained it perfectly. Now, that's a couple of times he's won with that cross-court.
Yeah, and I mean, we will have to see what kind of shape he's in, Chen Long. But the true trademarks of the top players is that you can fool them once, you can fool them twice, but in the long run they'll read your shots and they'll end up covering them. So that's why it's so important with variation in your game. And when Viktor plays with variation, he's one of the players who has the possibility of putting pressure on Chen Long, because he's so tall, so his attack is quite dangerous.
This is a great rally.
Yeah.
What a pace. Oh. Yeah, well, nothing you can do about that. There's an opponent, shuttle bouncing off the top of the tape, going over.
So, but when Viktor's playing well, his attack is quite dangerous compared to some other players who perhaps is better moving and better defensive, but they have trouble scoring points on Chen Long.
Yeah.
Over. 8-7.
Oh, that's great. The first of those body smashes, it went through my mind, oh, that's a nice tactic, but he did it twice.
Yeah.
And Chen Long was waiting for the second one.
Yeah. And variation is so important. We discussed it yesterday that the countries are getting much more into video preparation. And that's, I guess, a part of this running score system. You have to go for the small advantages if you can get them. And knowing a little bit more gives you an advantage, and especially in the doubles, we'll see them later, but the service situation there is so important to have an idea of what's going to happen.
Look at this. That's an incredible get, and it's his recovery that's so quick as well.
Yeah. That's interesting. Really interested to see this match, because I felt that Viktor had a quite good chance in Denmark Open. I actually feel that he should have won that match, but lost the plot a little bit in the third game. Had a 12-8 lead and lost an awful lot of points very quickly there.
Lost 11 straight points.
Yeah. But here I feel that Chen Long probably has the big advantage. But he didn't have a very good tournament last year, where he lost very
Oh
surprisingly.
my goodness! Oh. Yeah. Well, that was a moment of improvisation.
Here it comes again. Oh,
Look at that.
and it's out, but it's not much.
No, if that had landed in, that would have definitely been our play of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were mentioning Chen Long last year, #1 seed, lost in the second round to Mark Schwiebler, having been a game and 17-10 up, somehow contrived to lose it, which is very unusual for Chen Long. He's usually a very good front runner. And I don't mean that in disrespect to Mark Schwiebler, he played very well.
Yeah, it's just it's an odd result.
Yeah. So a 2-point advantage to Chen Long here in this opening game, just 10 minutes played. This is something we've seen a lot of recently, isn't it, Steve? Chen Long very much involved in the discussion.
Yeah. And it's a natural evaluation or progression. As you get more and more experienced as a player, I mean, when you come in and start with the national team, it's probably the coaches that are more or less directing the things that are going to happen in practice and in match. There, Chen Long tried it behind his back as well. As you get more experienced, it becomes more of the players comes with some suggestions and so on. And when you get more and more experienced, it's the player who takes over and has a big say in what is going to happen. And yeah, then sometimes you're in crisis and so on. Then it goes backwards. The coach take over a little bit more and comes with suggestions in order to get things going in the right direction again. But when you're a two-time world champion, like Chen Long is, of course, you know a lot about yourself. You know a lot about your game. You're the one who feels what it's like to be there on the court.
Yeah.
Is the opponent, is he feeling that he's sharp today, or is he a little bit slow, or what's happening? It's only the player who can feel that. Yeah, well played by Chen Long. Viktor had his legs moved in, ready for the forehand smash.
Oh,
good defense.
Yeah, good body smash as well.
Yeah. There's even it's in the first game here. There's more mistakes from Chen Long than we normally see him make when he's at his best.
Is there an implication there that he may be a little bit nervous about this one, considering their last match where he got out of jail, really, didn't he, by winning those 11 straight points in the deciding game?
I don't think he's nervous, but it's been a long season, and it's going to be an even longer season because it's not going to end until after the Olympics.
Yeah, because of the Olympic build-up. That said, the players have all had 2 months off at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And that was brought in by the BWF, by the Badminton World Federation, at the request of the players.
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's been, for him, a long, hard season because, my goodness me, I mean, he's won 7 titles from 10 tournaments so far. So he's getting through the whole time. Oh, that's very, very good. A little bit of frustration there from Axelsen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that it is a particularly long season for the players right now. I mean, it... Oof. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Well played by Chen Long.
Yeah.
No, there are these periods where you can actually regenerate.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good response from Axelsen.
This is very interesting because Viktor's had a lot of success from his forehand side, and Chen Long has put more pressure on Viktor's serves. You mentioned in the beginning, Chen Long has put pressure on them, and it's definitely a point where Viktor can get better his services.
Yeah.
We've seen both him and Wittinghus, their services, they are a little bit
Good defense.
unstable. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Good rally. Oh, brilliant defense. Yeah. Great rally. Now that's interesting as we look at this again. Axelsen at full stretch. Both players being made to move all over the court. Do you know, as soon as the shuttle touched the ground, I noticed the umpire put up his arm to indicate to the court attendants to come on.
Yeah.
And what good umpiring. That's very good.
Yeah.
But sadly, the court attendants didn't come on straight away. But that's the sort of thing. We were talking about it yesterday, weren't we? About the amount of time
in order to speed up
yeah.
the match, and that, unfortunately, it wasn't
It was
done
good.
to the satisfaction of Viktor Axelsen.
But the fact that the umpires are now realising that, I think, is a very good progression.
Yeah. He might have listened in yesterday.
He might have done. What a rally.
It looked like a practice exercise where they know what's going on.
Oh,
Oh, that's the wrong call.
challenge.
Yeah.
Surely. He's not challenging. I
No.
can't believe that. Well, this, to me, emphasises why we need more challenges, because I think Viktor Axelsen is afraid of, in game number 1, using up challenges. But I was convinced that it was wide.
But what a fantastic rally.
Yeah.
And we see both players really opening up for all the beautiful shots that we like to see.
Oh, no,
that's a good call.
That was a very good call.
Yeah.
Our humble apologies to the line judge there. That was correct. No, we're not directly behind the court, are we, Steen? We're sitting at a bit of an angle, which is maybe deceiving us a little bit. No, that was wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're also, I mean, we're in China with Viktor Axelsen playing a player from China, and so perhaps we anticipate that there might be some dubious line calls.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Denmark. We saw it not so much this year, but last year it was embarrassing in Denmark on the TV court where we saw a lot of challenges overturned, yeah. So it's a good thing we have the challenges, but
Yeah,
we
very
still
good point.
and that was the 2 or 3 quick points for it was 14-13, and then suddenly it was 17-13, and this first game is
It was 13
slipping
all.
away from Viktor Axelsen now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, that was a nice idea, wasn't it?
yeah, and that return in the net, that return is going to earn Chen Long a couple of points later on in the game, because Viktor Axelsen, he puts that into his mind that, hey, he was at it and he could have gotten over.
I like that push.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he got away with it.
Yeah, that's really lucky. I think Viktor is, as well as he's doing in his forehand, he's doing equally bad. Oh.
You see, he did a full pirouette there, turned
Yeah.
around. I mean, he should not be able to get away with that. Well,
He's not doing well in his backhand side, Viktor. He's getting himself in trouble too many times, reading the game a little bit wrongly, perhaps thinking the chances are bigger than they appear.
indecision at the back of the court, costing
Yeah.
him dear.
18, 15.
It's a 3-point advantage and 3 points away from this opening game. 3-time former champion.
This is what we talked about, that Viktor wins some extraordinary points, but Chen Long takes the easy points. Well played. Oh, no.
That's the second time he's missed that.
It's very, very puzzling. He normally never misses those chances. Just consulting Xia Xuanzi. That's wide.
Yeah. Well, it's just 1 point in it now.
17,
What a
18.
fascinating opening game.
Service over. 19, 17.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, wow. Oh, what a good rally. What a good rally. Well played, Chen Long.
Yeah, and this is also one of the situations where I feel Chen Long is better than the majority of the other top players. When it's close in a game, you really want to go all out to try and see if you can seal that game, and it's a good thing to keep the pressure to. You must win the net. We've seen Viktor has been actually a little bit dominating the net throughout the first game, but here in the last 2 or 3 rallies, Chen Long has challenged and won those challenges at the net, because he knows that that's what's needed to take these important points. So to play with the correct game plan on the important points is, yeah, so important.
3 game point opportunities for the 3-time former champion.
You see, Chen Long is not lifting.
Oh!
Unless he's forced to it.
Oh, that was loose. Oh. What a rally. Oh, he's missed it. Opening game after that wonderful rally to Chen Long. 21-17.
And it just doesn't give anything away too long. There's a good lift there, excellent lift with correct length. But he's making sure that he's definitely not losing that rally by himself. If the opponent wins it, it's because the opponent has played extremely well.
24 minutes for that opening game. And Chen Long, 1 game to the good.
Den her sidste øl, den var rigtig men der har kun været 2-3 af dem. Men hvor er chancerne derinde? Ja, og den er
Kenneth Jonassen,
meget bedre inden for
his coach,
6 første slag.
world number 2.
Så bliv ved med at ligge
It's interesting
ikke rykke.
having a little munch on that banana. I suppose it's a very difficult, awkward time for players playing at 5 o'clock local time. Do they have a big lunch? We saw Viktor Axelsen at breakfast, and we were there till about 10 o'clock, weren't we, this morning? And so if you have a big lunch, it's right after breakfast. I mean, it's all it's
probably quite a big breakfast, and then
a light lunch.
A light lunch. And the good thing, and I heard actually that they discussed it, that it was quite nice to know that you're playing at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Not that you're playing match number 3, 4, or 5, where it gets much more difficult to time your eating and drinking and sleeping. Because a lot of these players, when they play late at night matches, they like to take a little nap during the day.
Yeah. So Chen Long. Good on the big points. And that's a trait of champions. The intensity on those big points. And that refusal to make an error.
Yeah, he made a move there at 13 all, and that got him an advantage throughout the rest of the game, even though he made some quite big mistakes. There was room for it because he created that room in the middle of the game.
Yeah. Just wide.
Yeah, and it was from the backhand side again. He's not taking the correct choices from his backhand side, Viktor Axelsen.
During the Japan Open final, when I was commentating on Viktor Axelsen against Lin Dan, and again, Viktor Axelsen was well up in the 3rd and deciding game, 11-3 up to be precise.
Yeah.
And I felt that with his round the head shot, and when the scores get tight, he tenses his whole upper body, and especially his arm. He doesn't seem to have that relaxed action that, and when you're all tense, that's when you start to make errors.
Yeah.
And I felt that was an area that he could really work on, was that round the head shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he got tensed, and there was no reason to get tense because he
No.
was leading 11-3, and he was demolishing Lin Dan in Denmark Open in October. So that sort of showed the real strength difference between Viktor Axelsen and Lin Dan.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen it in a number of occasions, and I agree with you. It's the serve and the backhand sides that are the trouble areas at the moment.
Areas to be improved upon.
Yeah.
But I do think that Viktor Axelsen this year has come of age, as it were.
Exactly. He's
Because-
taking a big leap.
Absolutely. 4 finals, including 3 Super Series finals just this year.
Yeah.
That's impressive. He's only 21.
Yeah, and also together with him, we've seen Kento Momota
Yeah.
also take a big leap. So now things have gotten closer in the top of world badminton. I still think that Chen Long is a step ahead of the others, but
Yeah.
yeah, there was the service fault again.
Service error. Yeah. Second. It just shows how nowadays in men's singles how the return is a threat. I mean, we've always known that in doubles, and the importance of serving a tight low serve, tight to the top of the tape. Oh dear, you see, now that's the one.
Yeah.
To me, that the whole upper body and that right arm just looked tense to me.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still quite confident in Viktor is going to improve these things because he's
absolutely.
worked, and we saw when he first emerged in the international senior scene, he was struggling on a lot of areas in his game, his defense and so on, and he's a really hard worker. So I guess it's one thing by its time. Get it fixed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only is he a really hard worker, I mean, from the occasions that I've spoken to him, he's utterly charming young man. He's very polite, and he seems to be very receptive. Not that I've ever talked to him about his game. That's certainly not my place, but that's the impression I get, that he's wanting to learn and wanting to improve.
Yeah.
3-6.
And a lot of it is also about belief and figuring out where am I right now.
Where do I want to be, and how am I going to get there?
Yeah, and he's ranked 6th in the world, and he's definitely there. That doesn't mean that he can't lose to players ranked lower. He definitely can do that. But he can also beat. And I know it sounds strange because he hasn't beaten Chen Long, but I think he can beat him. When Chen Long is at his best and Viktor's at his best, Chen Long has a quite big advantage still, in my opinion. But there is some chances, and you can see he's frustrated with that backhand, and
that round the head shot again.
yeah, and the movement is way too long. This it makes you exactly risk of drawing it a little bit to the left, and it's out, and it should be finished. The movement should be finished much quicker, and there needs to be more variation.
Yeah. Now, Axelsen needs to be really careful right now, because you can see that build-up of frustration. He needs to take a moment just to recompose the thoughts.
And he's been quite unsuccessful in challenging Chen Long at the body.
Yeah.
He's been defending himself well.
Yeah. that's incredible. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, he's called a fault, Chen Long.
I think he touched the net, but
Service over.
Let's
Let's
have
see.
a look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
good spot, umpire. Yep, racket did touch the net. And he just apologises to his opponent. That's nice from Chen Long. Good sportsmanship. How did he get that?
that's a good shot.
Yeah.
And he should take a moment to look at what's efficient there. The efficient thing is that it lands a bit in front of Chen Long.
Yeah. So take a bit of pace
Yeah,
off that smash.
he has to throw himself a little bit forward to reach it. So maybe the same thing would work from his backhand side.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mopper is not in really good shape today. Missed a couple of
Yeah.
easy mops with Viktor Axelsen when he was at that court side.
Oh,
Well
look at
played,
that.
well played.
Yeah.
Service over. 9.
Let's see how. That's quite long. He
And-
can't really stay there, Victor. So it's the net drop that's the problem, because it simply gets too far away from the net. Chen Long has all possibilities. If Victor stays, he will play a flat lift to the back of the court. That's a good shot.
Look at that.
Service over.
That is incredible. What a drop shot. He took that late.
Yeah,
7. 9.
that was the.
Yeah, he enjoyed that. Look at that little smile. First of all,
That was the sort of interesting shot. So let's see if Chen Long takes two easy ones now. It's well played. I love that clear he played, Chen Long. Did all the damage. It wasn't an easy point, but it was a good point for the world champion. That clear there. And it was exactly shots of that kind I was looking for from the backhand side of Viktor Axelsen when I was saying that I felt he needed a little bit of a better game plan from there.
yeah. I like that push from the net from Axelsen, forcing Chen Long to play the backhand. Oh, it's before that.
Yeah. he can't see those shots, Chen Long. He cannot see where it's coming, whether it's coming straight or cross, or the very short one. So of course it would be a great plan for Viktor to try to set up the attack from the forehand side, and on the opposite hand from Chen Long to play more to Viktor's backhand side, as long as it's rather easy to deal with for Chen Long.
9, 10.
Well, a little look from Axelsen towards the umpire, almost expecting a fault to be called. Let's look at that again. No, that's fantastic from Chen Long. My goodness me. Brilliant. And it means that Chen Long has a 2-point advantage here in the second game. At the mid-game interval. Kenny
Så må du ikke bare spille nettet, hvis du ikke rykker ind. Fordi så er det, han lukker den, og han inviterer så meget der.
Måske ikke den der til sidste der. Altså, den står
No, there's no doubt. Axelsen is very much in this.
Men der
He'll
skal
be game down, but only 2 points adrift.
Ja, men ikke være desperat, ikke? Fordi du skal ikke vise det, det skal komme i armen.
Particularly can't hear them.
jeg strækker armen, og så er han overrasket.
Femmerskift, ikke?
Ja. Ja.
Oh,
yeah. Good
read
read.
that. Yeah. But the fact that he forced Chen Long to turn and play that backhand from deep in court, that was the really clever shot. Oh, yes.
Service over. 12, 10.
Perfectly placed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Play. Well, 10. Thirteen, 10.
Oh, yes, that's lovely.
Service over.
Yeah. Key take coming from above the shuttle throw. Watch his racket head here. It's coming from over it, not from under it.
Yeah.
Therefore, he's got the options.
And look how short that is. And if Viktor Axelsen or any other player could get those really, really short shots, especially from the backcourt going, then Chen Long needs to move a half a step closer to the net, and that would really spell trouble for him. Well played.
Do you know, in that rally, I said to myself, why on earth is Viktor Axelsen not playing back to the net? It seems to have, as if he's been told, just play back from the net a little bit so that Chen Long can't play these tight spinning net shots. But you pointed out that you thought that Viktor Axelsen had really won the battle at the net in the opening game.
Yeah, I think he did, and especially in the left side of the court, as we see it now, where Chen Long has to play from his forehand. Most players are a little bit more inaccurate from their forehand compared to their backhand side. So, I mean, you simply can't take areas out of the match, or it's really hard to take areas out of the match because you play on a smaller court than the opponent then. So it's just about choosing the right situations to use these shots.
Oh, that's nice.
Great shot.
Oh!
Yeah. And he's clinical there, Chen Long. It's so rarely that the opponents get out of the grip when he's attacking and moving forward.
Yes, and you just can't seem to turn the defence and get it away from him. Look at that.
It makes me think of Thaihot. He was a master of that. Didn't go for the kill immediately, but placed the push from the net so that he was almost sure to kill it on the third shot and made no mistakes.
Oh, that is phenomenal from Chen Long.
And
this is why...
This is from his backhand side.
Yeah, but this is obviously why the coach has said play away from the net.
Oh.
That is, your timing on that has to be perfect. Incredible. Oh,
well played.
That's brilliant.
And he's on a roll now, Chen Long.
And it's always, you know, suddenly the intensity and 3 or 4 points, and psychologically it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, now Chen Long knows that he's going to win this match.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 13 all in the first game and he went 17-13. It was 13-11 here, and now he's 17.
But we must remember last year 17-10 against Mark
Oh,
Tweedler.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And I remember that match. It was extraordinary. All's called good.
Yeah, and that shows that Chen Long, he certainly has these kind of shots.
Do you know, I think this is a way that men's singles has really developed. I can sort of think back 2 years plus, and I was always talking about the attacking play was always, if it was a good smash, you always expected the straight block. Now the defensive play of these players, they're turning the shuttle on defence. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's an attempted whip across court, and the defence has improved immeasurably.
Yeah.
So much variation now.
And it's needed. The game develops all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's going home looking at Chen Long saying, what are we going to do in order to beat him?
Yep. Challenge.
Axelsen, challenge, count, out.
Well,
I think
if he's wrong,
it's
then
out.
it's match point.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, you might as well challenge at this stage. Yeah. Difficult to tell from this angle, isn't it? No, you might as well try. It was close. Here we go. Yeah, it was out. Good call, line judge.
Challenge unsuccessful. 20, match point, 11. Axelsen, 1 challenge remaining.
Oh, you see
Yeah.
that defensive
Yeah.
play. They're doing. Oh, that time it's in.
Nobody
Well
over.
saved, Axelsen.
12. 1.
But it is extraordinary. I mean, you just don't know what to expect. You think you've hit a good smash, and anything can come back. Look at that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So first of the match points is well saved. Oh, look at that. What a rally.
Oi.
Oh, unbelievable. At match point down. Plays an outright winner on the backhand.
Yeah.
Extraordinary, yeah. Scratch your head. What on earth happened there? Terrific. Oh, yeah. Proves the point that you were making earlier, Steen. Once he's at the net and once he's hitting in a downward direction, Chen Long doesn't let up. So 21-17, 21-13, the margin of his victory
Match 1
over Viktor Axelsen.
21-17. 21-13.
50 minutes needed. There was some excellent rallies. Look at that final point. Extraordinary. Yeah, Axelsen disappointed, but he shouldn't be. I think Chen Long, as Steen Peterson was pointing out, always so good at those crucial stages. And their confirmation, he's through to the semi-final once again. 21-17, 21-13. First of our quarterfinals is complete. Of course, we've got mixed doubles coming up, then men's doubles, women's doubles, and we will finish with women's singles and the defending champion Saina Nehwal against Nozomi Okuhara. So our next match is mixed doubles, and it is the number 4 seeds, Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin, up against Chris and Gabby Adcock, the married couple from England. Well, looking at the mixed doubles draw, we can see that the 2-time beaten finalists, Fisher Nielsen and Pedersen, are already through to the semi-final stage. Well, 5 seeds in at quarterfinal, 4 different nations, only 4 different nations. That's not so good for World Badminton. 4 Chinese pairs, 2 Danish pairs. 2 Danish pairs is very good. A young Danish pair in their first ever quarter-final at a Premier Super Series, I believe. Is that right, Steen?
Yes, it is. First ever quarterfinal with playing at the moment, and I think they're about to be brought back to earth by Xu Chen and Ma Jin.
Well, Xu Chen and Ma Jin, of course, former champions here. But both of the pairs in our quarterfinal never previously beyond the quarterfinal stage, so one pair is going to go better than they've ever done before. Chen, 23 years of age, world ranking of number 3, and this their 6th week in total at a career high 3. Number 4 on the Destination Dubai list, Viktor Axelsen, has been in a final here. The 23-year-old from Yiyang in Hunan province in South China. She was in the final in 2013, women's doubles with Zhong